to the honest challenge about fundraising, and my idea is this should be interactive. So I don't know if everyone is here. Are we all here, and can we, respond to a few questions so that we have a collective idea about what you're asking? Or am I going to speak alone? Because if I'm going to speak alone, then it's not going to be as interactive as I was told. So let me know if we're all here.
We're all with you, Antonio.
Yes, we're here.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's at midday. If you set a call at midday, it's a bit tricky. These questions were not going to be answered entirely by me. It's supposed to be interactive. So I just need to know so that we can answer these questions. What's the honest challenge about fundraising? So I want to hear some thoughts from you. Just let me know who you are, and these are, and you can add to what I had put here, and then we'll be able to answer these questions together. So is it about my passion alone? But before we get to the four that I've listed here, I want to hear from you, the fellows. What's the honest challenge? The honest challenge about fundraising, in your view. So anyone, if you're there, just I don't have to share this now. So if you're there, I just want you to mention your name and tell us what's the honest challenge about fundraising. And not you, Fola. I can see you want to speak. Not you, Fola. Yes, Eniola. Is it Edun? Forgive me if I mispronounce your names. But yes,
Hello,
go ahead.
everyone. Yeah, you pronounced my name well. It is Eniola Edo. So, everyone, please pardon me. I'm a little under the weather, so the reason for my voice. So, one of the challenges I think I personally has encountered during fundraising is actually, should I say, donor retention. For instance, if I'm trying to raise funds within my network of people, and then let's say person A is committed to this project, and then the next one, person B, is also committed, having them come again on other projects, the retention is more like a problem because it's now beginning to look like are we the only source of income you have? Are you trying to like should I say make us your ATM or so? For some people, they are genuinely donating, and for some, it becomes overwhelming over time when they have to donate almost all the time to a particular cause. I think that has been an issue from my own end. Thank you.
Okay, that's very interesting, Eniola. And we'll come back to that because I know that we have all the answers. And thank you for, in the other parts of Africa, we refer to such boldness as Nigeria. So thank you for being very Nigerian. People want to ask you questions like, are we the only source of funding you have? Yeah, so I didn't want to share theory and myths with you. I wanted us to interact. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Bukola,
Okay,
we hear you.
okay. My name is Bukola. So for me, from what I've experienced, I think one of the challenge with fundraising, especially when you're trying to like start from the people that are around you, I think is even how to ask, is how to pitch that cost to them, basically how to make them buy into your idea. That's like the main part for me, because for someone that's not such a socialite, so and you don't maybe have like a lot of team, maybe you're just in the starting process, so how to start going out of your way to beginning to ask people to fund your idea. I think that's another challenge for me. Thank you.
Okay, That's very interesting.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi, Sunusi. How are you?
Yeah. Sir, our major challenges in fundraising. Sometimes people didn't differentiate about the civil society and the donor partners. If you go to the community, either philanthropists, you look at the local to support our organization, they are thinking we are working under the yeah.
I think I lost
Hello?
you somewhere, Sunusi. I think I lost you somewhere.
Hello, sir. You hear me? Hello, sir.
Yes, Sunusi. There's
Hello, sir.
some
We are in
feedback.
community. That's why you see.
Yes, yes. Okay. So you are saying some people don't differentiate between civil society and what exactly? Okay, I think I lost Sunusi for a bit. Is there anyone else that wants to, as we wait for him to? What are the honest challenges? Because I feel that no matter how honest my answer will be, it could be honest to the wrong context, you know? No matter how genuine the discussion could be, the context could be very different from where I sit. So I needed to know what your honest challenges are. And Yola mentioned, you know, donor retention. The question is, are we the only source? And then the second person mentioned something about how do I pitch? Sorry if I forget your name, but you know, the idea, yeah, it was Bukola around, you know, how do I pitch or make others buy into the idea? So I needed at least 3 or 4 questions. Then we can answer the questions that Anu had asked. Any other question? My nonprofit is pretty unknown in these parts. This is Idara. Identifying what to raise funds on is a major challenge since it's about rare genetic conditions. That's very interesting. Thank you, Idara, for putting that in the chat. So could it be, you know, I want to write this as, could it be what I am fundraising for? That's a very good one. Thank you, Idara. Any other one in the chat, or do we get to these? Since the main questions are on fundraising, I don't mind us spending, you know, the 30 or so minutes left on this specific thing. But I'm happy to go ahead and, you know, share my screen again and then invite us to think, because let me know if you can see the screen. Anyone?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so 4 quick things. And I like what Idara said, because this responds to the first, this is in line with my first thought. And these are not answers, they're not cast in stone, you know. But these are thoughts, and these are thoughts I wanted to invite us to think about together. So is it about my passion alone? You know, does it mean because this is what, you know, Idara cares about, so everyone in the community needs to care about this, all the funders need to see this? Is it really about passion alone? You know, what happens if that is my interest and there's no one else aligned to it? Do I change to go where the interests are? And I would want to hear from you, Idara. You could, since you're able to type, you could just be telling us how you've navigated that, so that at the end of it all, we have not just answers from me, because I'm not the monopoly of knowledge. The second one, and I would have loved to hear Sunusi talk about this, is does money change people? Does money change people? That's a very good one for us to think about. Does money change people? And you could tell me from your own perspective, have you been affected by this? You received some funding and it changed how you operate, how you think, who you greet. Your organization changed from what it had become. Eniola, you talked about retention. I'd want to hear, has the money you've received before, changed how you've been working? Or have you adopted the same way of working even after money has come? I want to start with the first two, because a lot of what you've shared is majorly in line with the first two. And I want to hear from you, because like I said, I like what Eniola said. You think money changes people. So why should people give you money if it's going to change? I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay. Thank you. So the reason I am of the opinion that money changes people is because I've heard of organizations where they actually raise fund for different projects, or they actually were able to secure a grant for a particular project. And when it comes to project implementation, maybe it's their first funding, and the funding is something so great that they've never handled such amount of money before. Use for instance, for somebody that their capacity funding level is between, let's say, 500 USD or 1000 USD, and such person now gets a funding opportunity of 10,000 USD. There is every tendency the person will mismanage the fund, or misallocate or misappropriate the fund. And we've seen this play out in different occasions of funding opportunity, and those organizations at the end of the day lose credibility and lacks accountability. So that is why I believe money changes people, particularly if the team members, if there is no should I say, credibility to the person leading the team. There's no accountability partner to checkmate who the boss is, the person delegating, and the moment they derail from the original plan, nobody is able to tell the boss that, oh, I think this isn't part of the funding implementation. This isn't part. That way the person is being held accountable in-house before even giving accounts to the donors and all that. So, but in this our space, money is not supposed to change who we are or what we represent. Reason being that you should I say, um the funds we get makes us like a public, how will I put that word now? We are responsible to the public now. For every donation we get, we are supposed to be accountable for it, even if it is as small as 200 US dollar. We are supposed to implement the money. We are supposed to implement the project according to what was in the project plan. I understand there are times that maybe project costs, the costing probably skyrocketed or something, and that is why I think there is a place for what's it called, miscellaneous and all that. There are ways to still be accountable. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but it's like a lot going through my head already. Thank you.
No, thank you, Eniola. I like what Isaac has said, because I know that on this call, many of you are tempted to be very technical, and I didn't want us to take that line, because if we get very technical, we're going to sound, like we're telling the truth, and yet the question is the honest challenges about fundraising. When you need money, do you sit down and tell yourself, my organization is accountable? Or you just say, I need money. When you're talking to yourself, You don't use words like, Isaac is saying transparency, which is not gotten from it. There's that line. But when you are looking for money for the work you are doing, what comes to mind? So Isaac says many funders demand accountability and transparency. Do you demand that from yourself before we can get about the funders? Because I've been privileged to be part of teams that are giving grants and awarding grants, and I can tell you that there are so many dynamics that come into play. So many dynamics. It's not just about proposal writing and all that. I want to be honest with you. Sometimes it's also because you know the person who's applying, you know their idea, you have been part of the idea, and you know that the idea will work. Is what I've said controversial, or is it human? Is it an honest challenge? About fundraising, Idara mentioned earlier that maybe it's what she's dealing with that people don't know about. So this could be the challenge. It's not that no one wants to fund, it's just that it's rare genetic conditions. No one knows about it. Stella Francis mentioned something, approaching the same set of people for funds on various activities is challenging. The response rate keeps declining. So what happens in that case? I definitely had planned for this to be interactive. What have you done? I could tell you what I have done and how I have succeeded and how I have not, but I would want to know, what have you done? Anyone with a scenario where you've applied to the same person over and over and they haven't given you that money, what have you done? Does that mean you have closed? Does that mean you have looked for other options? What next? Because that's the honest challenge with fundraising. I could give you the theories and tell you what to do, but I don't think that was the purpose for the call. The call is interact with you. And I think for me, mentorship is not really around, giving you the theories. It's about understanding your challenge. Yes, Isaac.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So grateful. Very, very interesting. I actually want to say something about what I put on that many funders demand accountability and transparency, which is not gotten from the NGO. So we need to be accountable. And just like what you said, sir, you said, what have we done as an individual organization? I could remember when we started our own organization in 2014 to date. I have nobody to mentor me, and I was seriously, looking for somebody to actually do that for me, but I couldn't get. And so what I did was that I was like going to the online, search for the level I am, what is the next thing to do? So I found out that it is expected of me that every money I get, I needed to do auditing of my account every year. So I kept doing that. I never knew the importance because nobody to tell me the importance. I just kept doing what I thought it was right. So when I started doing auditing from that time to date, I met one of my friends who is based in UK. So he told me that, did I have audited account for like 4 years? I said, I have for 6 years. He said, I should send the last 3 years to him. And I did. That was how that man became my potential, donor who is seriously, taking me up in so many areas. So what I'm saying is that money is good. We need to do so many things. And if we want to attract more money, we need to spend more money to do the right thing. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Isaac. I love that. And I would definitely be happy to, to know more about what you're doing and what direction that is taking, even after the call. So I hope I'll be able to connect with you on that.
Thank you.
I like the approach when you say the practical thing. Some people need audited accounts. It's just that simple. And how many of our organizations are doing that? money being spent to make more money. And that's the honest challenge about fundraising. Fundraising is not all about, pitching the idea and getting the money. I want to get to the second part because I see we are, running out of time, and I don't want to share so many ideas that will not relate with you in your context. How do we pitch or make others buy into the idea? This is a very good question. Bukola, I think it was by Bukola. I want to hear from you. Isaac, your hand is still up. I don't know if this means you're ready to answer everything or you've left it up by mistake. But I would want to hear from the rest of us. Bukola, if you're still there, what do you do and what is your organization about?
Okay, yes, I'm still here. Good afternoon. Okay, so currently the organization is a volunteering for youth development and social impact initiative. So we um link youths like as volunteers to organizations. Then we also carry out our own individual youth development programs.
Okay.
Yes, so that's what we do.
That's very broad. Imagine someone met you somewhere and told you what you've said. Would you support them? Would you fund them if you had money?
Okay, so to be more specific, so we do outreaches, we do workshops and training, we do cleanups for like by youths basically. Yeah, then we also do empowerment programs as well. Then when we work with organizations, so I don't know if I'm I'm looking at
Yeah.
your expression.
No.
I'm trying to see where yes.
Okay. Bukola, we just like Isaac has done, we can also have time to catch up. I think your question is valid. How do we pitch or make others buy into the idea? And there's a lot that can go into that. I had some of it in the slides, but let's stay in touch. Thank you, Isaac. I've gotten the email on that. I want to hear from the rest because I know you all know Fola, and I trust Fola is one of the best idea pitchers that I've heard of. She's not pitched to me yet, but I've heard that she's a very good fundraiser. So I'm sure that a lot of the skill set you'll get from the fellowship will be in this line. But I wanted to know before we get to that, anyone who has pitched their idea to a funder, who can share with us some 2 or 3 things that they think or that they received from the funder as the response to why they got the funding, so that we can all benefit from Bukola's question. Any 1 or 2 people that have done something that they think was the major reason why they got funding, and then we can brainstorm on why I think that is true or not.
So actually, our organization not reach the funders,
Yes.
but to reach the government. We have
Okay.
an agency in health sectors in our state. We write a
Okay.
proposal to submit that agency, like a Kano State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency. The first time that I wrote the proposal, the ES called our organizational program to come and for the proposal. After I did that, we received a funding from that Kachima to training of the facility in charge under basic healthcare provision. After I do that, again Kachima called our organization to come and conduct a client satisfaction survey for the beneficiaries within our 44 LGs in Kano State. But now we are working together with the government agency to call our organization for that some fund to get some funding and go doing that activities in our facility in our communities. So, but now we are relying almost our activities now is supported by the government to give some funding and volunteering go to community and do our activities and report direct to the government. That's what we did in our organization now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sunusi. I want to come back to that. I saw Sevo's hand was up. Was it Sevo? I'm interested in hearing what Sevo has to
Yeah,
say
thank you so
before.
much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Um, and thank you for making the session an interactive one. My own contribution and my view to this is leveraging the power of social media, and
Okay.
is one of those things that have assisted me to. If it is not an international funding, but due
Mm.
to people I know in my own network,
Mm-hmm.
I have been in the NGO space for the past 8 years, and
Okay.
in 2017, I founded an organization where we reach out to those who are incarcerated in the correctional facilities. So we visit the prisons. Those who don't have legal aid assistance, we hire lawyer for them, and we pay fines for people who are of misdemeanor offenses, very minor offenses. We pay their fines. Maybe someone who is being sentenced to 6 months imprisonment and with the option of fine of 50,000 naira, 30,000 naira. These are little money. So when we go to prisons, we ask about their cases, what brought them there, and we make sure we are not releasing uh, a wrong person back to the society. So we try to, what's it called? We try to interact with them and know what really causes that. Though due to that, we've been to the juvenile home, which is the Bosta institution, where we have people of the age range of 11, 12, 13, 14 to 21 years of age in prison. So this is so challenging. And one of those things I discovered is that uh, food insecurity is one of those things that made majority of those young chaps to go into I would call it misdemeanor offenses, and but it later led to criminal offenses, because when you jump into someone's compound to steal, they won't take it. Stealing is not something that they take with a levity hand. So I discovered that and other things at large, which made me to found another organization, which is the food bank. Yeah, the food bank, we give out food to the less privileged, and we leverage on farming. What I really want to bring out is it is through this food bank I receive a lot of funding. How? I receive a lot of lectures on how to leverage on social media and posting what you are doing within your network. So I am a content creator, and I've been able to, due to my own personal page, I've been able to connect with some few people. And on my WhatsApp platform, I do post about my organization. I do explain what we do and everything. So there was a day I just received a message from one of my, I should call it due to the content I create, I'll call it a client. He just messaged me that he saw my post that I posted about a food bank. Did I, can I explain about the food bank to him? What are we into? And the man was like, when he got to the US, the first 3 months, he doesn't have a work. And he has been leveraging on food bank in the US to support himself. And he has made a vow that certainly when he's more financially okay, he's going to give back to the community. So when he now saw me that I posted something related to the food bank, he came to my GM and he has been one of the strong donors since then. So I just want to say leveraging on social media, posting on our network, on our platforms, maybe WhatsApp, status, our Facebook accounts, and every other channel. Even there was a day he wasn't aware that we wanted.
So I want to cut you short. I want to cut you short right there.
Okay.
I hope that, I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to interact with us again, but my hope is that we will use you as a case study, and then we will compare what you are doing on your social media, because I want a practical. This is a very practical discussion, so I would want to see an example of what your posts look like. You get? And I would want us to pick out 2 or 3 other people who are willing, and let's discuss what leveraging social media as a platform actually means. So I want to cut you short, Sevo, but thank you. I've captured some of the ideas you've shared. I see there's another hand up, and I didn't want all the time to be spent on that. But thank you very much, Sevo. Eniola, your thoughts. Then I will share 1 or 2 things, and we can close. Eniola, your hand is up.
Oh, okay. So I would like to add to what my colleagues have said. I think one important thing to secure grants is to check alignment at which your supposed sponsor, the areas they are interested in. So this has really been helpful for my organization. Each time we want to reach out for partnership or we want to reach out for sponsorship, we try to check if the project we have at hand, for instance, on women empowerment, family planning, or gender-based violence, if the organization is interested in topics like this. So if we see that, okay, as part of that CSR, it is something they're interested in, we go ahead to pitch to them. And at the end of the day, when they see that, okay, before approaching them, we've been working on our own. Jigger, we've been able to implement some projects personally with our own fund that we've raised. They're like, okay, we can trust you with so amount. But for some organization would say, oh, if you're demanding 1,000 USD and you really haven't implemented a project worth that amount, we don't think we can support you with that. So what we do, for instance, I think our first project at EMA Foundation was about let's say 1,000 USD. So we reach out to different organizations because we know that it may be hard for one organization, being a startup, a new organization at that, to get one particular person to fund all the activities. So we reached out to different organizations, the government parastatal for media coverage. We reached out to a corporate organization for materials or souvenirs for the program. We reach out to different organizations, and with that, we're able to get all the resources we needed. And that actually also gives us visibility and credibility because we are not just working with one, should I say, sponsor. We have different organizations now to our name that we've partnered with. And that has been, I think that has been something we've been adopting at EMA Foundation, whereby if we have a project, we just want to look at organizations we can partner with, either financial-wise or material donation. It doesn't have to be monetary donation. And this has built our reputation over the years because they know, okay, these people don't just reach out compulsorily for money. Then, oh, it may be human resource. We need somebody to come speak on this, and they are willing to support us. So thank you. I think that will be my contribution.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eniola. Hopefully I'm noting this down. So there's also something to do with effective collaboration. What does collaboration actually mean? Or is it a word we use to fundraise? So we'll also get to that, hopefully some other time. Adamu, your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you very much. I am Adamu Usman Baba, the Executive Director of Aduba Relief Care Foundation, which is non-governmental and developmental organization. Thank you for your presentation, sir. In Aduba Relief Care Foundations, what we do is that we support the IDPs and the school dropout vulnerable children in Northeast Nigeria, where the issue of Boko Haram has displaced millions of people from their, they're homeless, they are outside there, people sleeping at the street, no food and other things. So what we do in our organization, we, the members of the organization will do contribute money to buy food and distribute to those IDPs and children outside there on the street, and also seek for funding from the state government and other people that are businessmen and other things. But honestly, we are into this service since 2017. But I am telling you that what we do in the organizations, we didn't require money. Sometimes if we have target of sending the children to the school, what we do is that we are sourcing for these uniforms, sandals, and all these school materials. We didn't source for money, because sometimes when you require for money from people didn't give money, but we require the actual materials that we need. And even the food items that we distribute, we didn't we didn't require money from anyone. If you are selling food items, we will say, okay, we have so IDP members or host communities members, so we want to support them. How do you? Sometimes we even direct people to do directly themselves, not even to give us the resources to do. That's how we do. And sometimes IDPs are you can see in one IDP you can see 1,000, 2,000 people, and you don't have direct funding. How can you fund all these people? What we do is we go to the community, we make an advocacy visit to community. We say, okay, so the IDP that is there in zone A, so they are looking for water. They have no water, so please, we are looking for somebody that can at least drill boreholes, and support the people. And if we go to the IDP's zone B, then we still ask for what people need. Even there are some of the IDPs that even there's no shelter. There are a lot of challenges here, honestly, and honestly we need funding. But yet, since 2017 to this time that I'm speaking to you, we don't have an international funding. It's only we are just sourcing funding and from the families. Our salaries we are getting from the small work and business we are doing. That is how we fund our organization. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Adam. I would actually want to have a more interesting conversation with you, because I want to know, and you don't have to answer now, but should we have opportunity to chat again, I want to know what your idea was when you started in 2017. What was the dream and what is the reality? Okay. And then see what changed along the way. What are the opportunities along the way? What are the myths? And now that you've mentioned that, Adamu, your hand is still up. I'd be happy if you, just put that down so that I don't have to worry that your questions are not answered. I want to share something small and then, hand it back to Anu, because I know this is not enough time. But thank you very much, everyone who's contributed. There are myths, and this is why I like what Adamu said. There are myths about some of these things when we start out. I like your model. There are quite a number of examples I've worked with or interacted with that are doing something similar, and I will share all those should we have time in the future. There's an idea that what we
Sorry,
do.
Antonio, I am so sorry to budge in.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I know.
Okay, I am so sorry to budge in. I just wanted to say that you can take a few more minutes past the time so that you can cover more ground. Right?
Oh,
Did you hear me?
okay. Yeah, I did
Yes,
hear you. I did hear you. I can't go more than 10 minutes because I'll have another call after, but I'll give
that's
at
fine.
least five more. So I want to invite us to think. My job today was not really I know you guys are in the, you're doing the work. No one is going to tell you anything new, yeah? But there's a way we can sharpen some of the things we know. And there's a way we can think better around some of these things, more so around fundraising. Another myth I wanted to bring to us was Are we doing what we're doing because we needed money or because we wanted to do good? And is doing good free? Is doing good free if it is not? And this is why I was pointing to what Adamo had mentioned when he started in 2017. I hope that in the future we can have a case study. And why I like case studies is, let's be practical. The moment we come to some of these sessions and someone tells you, you know, it's more like fiction. It's like a movie. You live with nothing and then you go back and everything is the same, which is not my goal, like I said, because I'm, you know, part of a number of opportunities where fundraising is done, where grant making is done, and it's done differently. It's not done the usual send us an application. No, come and talk to us about why you're doing what you're doing. And I think for many small organizations, community organizations, you need to learn that, because most of the fundraising you do is not going to be international Adamu. No, it's going to be through relationships, through connections. And so you have to be able to tell your story, Bukola. You have to be able to tell your story in the shortest time possible, but without feeling like if I don't say the right words, I will fail. No. You know, if you believe in this thing, you have to shape how you talk about it. So one of the things I wanted to hear from us, did we start because, you know, situation is tight, the street is hot, you know? I like how Nigerians say it, you know, the economy is tough. Yeah? All my Nigerian friends always greet me with how far. I don't know if you all if you all do the same, you know, how far. Then the second thing is, if funding was unlimited, what's the first thing you would change? So some of these are actually fundraising questions, but no one will ever tell you that. If you came to me, I would ask you, if you had unlimited funding, what would you change? And how you respond to that question can actually cost you funding or not. And that's the approach I prefer, because it's easy to write papers and do all this. We now have Chat GPT. Someone can go and, you know, develop a good. So we have moved from that. You know, we want to invite you and sit with you and hear, okay, Idara, tell us about, you know, this genetic condition and how you're able to. It's not about English. Most people think it's about English. No, it's about the passion. But is it passion alone? You know, can I present the idea? And I'm not telling you that I'm a master at this. No, I think we can learn together. And that's the goal of this. I can tell you what I've done and where I've been successful. You can tell me what you've done and where you've been successful. And then we can, you know, work with each other. I think that's what mentorship is about. Then if you have a pitch somewhere, I want to come with you. I've been to Lagos. It was a very interesting experience for me the first time I was in Lagos. Very busy place. But I would want to pitch the idea for your organization with you. But we must get to know each other. We must get to know what you're doing. We must get to understand. And then if you have a pitch coming up, or if we can look for one, can we do it together and see what the difference will be? If I do it with you and we're still not successful, let's sit and think. And what's the next one? Okay. So are we doing what we're doing because we wanted money? Are we doing what we're doing because we wanted to do good? What's the challenge for you? There's something I want to show you just before we. No, I see it's 5 more minutes. This is one of the things I was thinking. Let me just share this with you. Okay, look at it for a minute. There's a balance between the heart and then the mind. So your heart is telling you do good. You know, Adamu, do good, give people water, give people. I started this thing in 2017 with a reason. But then the mind is telling you, but, you know, to help people needs money. There has to be some logic. There has to be some value. So where is the balance for you as a social entrepreneur? Where's the balance for you as a non-profit? How do you balance the heart and the mind? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to, again, the question of money changes people. What happens if the money comes in? So I had a lot to share today, but I want to listen from you. So tell me, someone, anyone, we have 4 more minutes, but I'd want to hear from anyone about, I started this because I was broke and I needed something to do, or I started this because I wanted to do good, but money has become a necessity. Anyone? So many people on the call. We've not heard from all of you. I just want to hear one of you. Yes, Isaac.
All right. Thank you so much for this powerful question you asked about when all have been said and done, what next? Precisely, I want to tell you that I ask myself that question oftentimes, that what next? Because so many times I believe that whatever dream we have, whatever plan we have, ambition, inspiration, everything, one day, if we are not slothful, we're going to achieve it. And so when we achieve it, what is going to be the next thing to do again? I dream in my life, I want to build a house, I want to have a car, I want to do this. I will ask myself before the thing come, what next? So my first time when I finished building my house and I have my car, that question was done on me that day. Then now, what is the next thing to me to do? That was when I know the meaning of what next. So what next is kind of a driving force.
Susanna, thank you. Okay. Sorry, Isaac. Please continue. I don't know if you are done. Mercy, Igwe, I will be willing to share. Please go ahead.
So in respect to the question you asked, what really happens when the fundings are not coming? What inspired me? Take for instance, for me, I grew up in a very, so to say, the outskirts of the big towns. So I get to see how we grew up. I see other younger girls like me, how it was a fight of, trying to build a future and a destiny for your, I mean, a future that is beautiful for yourself. I begin to see how beautiful futures, beautiful ideas are being buried because there's no support, no form of moral support, not finance per se, no emotional support. Nobody is there to hold their hands, and guide them into all of the beauty that is inside of them, especially for the girl child. So I started from the angle of reaching out and being of a great support to the girl child. And with the little that I know, I started bringing them.
Okay, I thought I think I lost her. Very interesting scenario there, Mercy. I definitely would have loved to know more about that, and will be looking forward to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't know I was locked out. Sorry.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I think it's the network, but my time is up now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be honest with you. A mentorship session with 20 or so organizations, individuals is a bit hard, more so in 1 hour. But I hope that we'll have time to, maybe catch up with the different organizations one-on-one, or maybe in the future, or I hope that one day our paths cross. Or I also hope that one day, your application will come through a place where, I'm able to see and remember, oh, this is Mordecai Care Foundation, this is Eniola, this is Bukola, I hope that one day it happens. And I also hope that, I'll be in Lagos soon, and uh, hopefully before your graduation or during your graduation. I don't know yet, no promises, but I hope that we can, meet in person and share more about some of the things we do. I don't take the work you do lightly, because it's not just about one session. It's your livelihoods, it's your dreams, it's your passions, and the challenges you're facing are real. So my hope is that even as you ask questions, even as you interact with potential funders and any other of the mentors on the call, my hope is that you will be real, not only to them, but to yourself. If there's a question that is a challenge, deal with it, so that it's not about, all these big words and what. Those keep for the proposal, when you're writing. But when you're having a conversation with someone and you need support, I like Adamo's idea, it's non-financial. Not all the time will it be financial. And that's something I had planned to talk about. Is fundraising all about money? Or could it be something else? And we'll get into that hopefully next time. But my job today was to stir us up to think and to listen more about what you're doing, and to actually tap into the wealth of knowledge that you already have, and just invite us to share more so that we can answer each other's questions. So I wish you well, and I pray all the best for you. And yeah, I pray that in one way or another we'll stay in touch and sharpen one another along the way. So good luck with everything you're doing. Anu, back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Antonio. So I hope you can hear me and without an echo. Please, can we just celebrate Antonio? Can we just clap, react, unmute your mic and just tell him thank you? I know he has to run, but please let him feel our appreciation. Thank you so much. It was such an insightful session. So I think that I also have questions, more questions and more questions. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to see how we can bring Antonio back. And I want to believe that he's also open to mentorships for those of us who are like really, really ready to take our work to like the next level, and we can see how to work around that. But if you're open to another session, we definitely want to have you back, and we definitely want to, this time we promise not to come late, because some of the fellows came late. That's why. Anyways, thank you so much. We're super grateful. And we thank you for your time, and we look forward to having you in the future. So this is what we are going to do. If you have any more questions, please, questions that maybe are very specific to your work, not just generic questions around fundings, but more specific questions, more specific challenges that you are faced with, please fill the form and just ask your questions there. So another thing that I believe we can do is to create these questions and share with Antonio and see if he can attend to them, on a more personal level, and maybe from the questions determine what you would need as a change maker. Very crucial that we start to ask specific questions rather than generic questions, because I noticed that that is what most of us do. And thankfully, just a few number of us actually few ask these questions, but please start ask specific questions. And so we're calling it a day or an afternoon. It was an amazing session. The attendance link has been shared on in the chat, and I almost want to promise that I won't be sharing it in the WhatsApp group. Anybody that is not here is not here, but please make sure to fill the attendance. We have another session tomorrow. Our session tomorrow will hold for 7 p.m. And I think that's the session on programs. If I'm correct, yes. That's the session for, okay. Yes, that session is on programs. So everything programs management, we're going to be learning from a a seasoned expert, someone who has been in the game for long, and not just programs management, someone who is in programs and in the non-profit development sector. So if you have questions, I'll share the pre-session survey form shortly. Please also include your questions there. Asking these questions ahead of the session makes it easier. We share the questions with the facilitators and mentors many times, and so they are prepared to answer your questions directly. So when you do not fill these forms, when you do not ask those questions, you are only just what's it called, shortchanging yourself, because you won't get direct answers as you like, and we know that we are working with just a very short period of time. So this just helps us go straight to the point. So I want to encourage us again, please fill the forms when you need to, ask the right questions, evaluate from everything we'll be saying, evaluate your organization, evaluate where you are, and determine what you need to know and what you need to do better. And then you can ask the right questions. So thank you, everyone. Understand it's midday, and many of us are at work or shuffling between stuff. So thank you for still showing up in good time. Please, as much as possible, let's try to show up earlier. Even as you are trying to sort out where you stay, how you there, just join and then try to calm down wherever you are so that we can start early. Our guest for today was here way earlier than many of us. In fact, many of us met in here, and we shouldn't continue like that. So yes, thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow evening. Please do not forget that we have 2 assignments now. One is due for tomorrow. Effective communication is due for tomorrow. You can check your Google Classroom. It is there and it has been assigned to you. So it's an individual assignment, while the other one is a group assignment. If you have any questions, confused about anything, please feel free to ask on the group chat. Do have an amazing day, and see you tomorrow, and see you on all the forms. Bye.